trying to put a picture together of how he died.
You're back in your trauma. That's good. How do you feel?
I'm healing. I'm healed. I have a living boyfriend. My son is about...
I feel like we became friends with the fans, so for us it was like, oh, we're friends now, cool, come on to the next season. There's just this lovely relationship, and I think because it's a very personal show, I think we deal with personal issues. Obviously we have the cases, which are a little bit more heightened, but I've said before, this was really important to me, that I wasn't just a coroner who happened to be human. It was that I was a human who happened to be a coroner, and that the humanity is what we led with. And I think that's where that's where our fan base resides mainly, is in the humanity of it, in the brokenness, but also in the capability of our character as well. And so, yes, I mean, I don't want to disappoint anyone. You definitely don't want to be like, you loved the first one? Great, I'm gonna go blow it here. But yeah, there's always that pressure to do more and research more and be better. And that comes out of an appreciation for the fans. That comes out of an appreciation for also the press that come out and, you know, that actually take the time to tell the stories. And so it's, yeah, you do put a little bit of pressure on yourself. But again, they're my friends. Right? We're friends. It'll be great. Yeah, we talk about how it is, they're sisters, not twins. So it's the same family, but slightly different stories. So I read the books, and M.R. Hall actually came to set this season, which was amazing. I got to meet him and got the thumbs up, which was big for me because I didn't want to, you know, feel like I had done a good job at representing her and meet him. And he was like, oh no. He was very, very lovely and very supportive. And so, yeah, it's important for me to make sure that they feel of the same family. Obviously, it's a different time, it's a different age, but that inner kind of light that is Jenny is represented in both sides. So I did a lot of research through him, through the books, and then went and did a lot of my own research by going to real autopsies and talking to people with anxiety, and yeah, I went in. Yeah, absolutely. I think when I first saw, they call it the Bible. So basically you get a script and then you get this Bible, which is the tonality of the script. So everything from visuals, how it's going to look, how they're going to shoot it, the DP that's involved, the directors, but then the character arc and how that's going to be shown visually. But then this was really interesting because they also talked about emotionally where she would be throughout this. And then I was like, I can work with this. I can really get in there and go deep on this as well and figure out the humanity of her and figure out, you know, what this teen mother who had a traumatic experience when she was a child, who accidentally, when pushing her sister out of anger, the consequence was much bigger than being grounded. It happened by a set of stairs where she happened to fall and die, and she went mute for 2 months and didn't speak. And finally, when Jenny does speak, she doesn't say anything about it, so everybody decides that they're just not going to mention it. And at the beginning, it's to protect Jenny, and by the end, you know, in this second season, I really go up against my father saying, at some point, this wasn't to protect me anymore. It was out of a convenience for you not to have to work with me with this and to tell me the truth. And now I'm searching for the truth in other people, consistently trying to solve their truth, and I'm never looking at my own. I've built this outward sort of flow, but the in is so complex. And that was really important for me, was to be able to find this character that was human first, like really drove home the piece of being like, I am a complex woman. And I'm not the typical one that you see on television. I mean, normally if you see a 17, 18-year-old mother, you know what that story is. This is not that story. Normally when you see a biracial gay teen, this is not that story either. Normally when you see a woman that's having a psychotic break that deals with mental illness, it's another one. She's in a mental institute. So all of these things take very abnormal story points and put them all together in a very normal human story. You're like, yeah, this is part of a family, and she's very flawed, but she's very capable, and sometimes she can handle it a lot better than other days, and sometimes she's crying on the floor and having a panic attack. But we don't judge either, you know, and one doesn't hinder the other. So yeah, I love the complexity of Jenny. That's why I do this show. Yeah, absolutely. I think for me it was really important that if we were going to portray mental illness and we were going to tell it in a way that is different than we've seen it before, that I actually talk to the people that suffer with mental illness. And I think everybody has suffered with mental illness in some capacity. I talk about it being either like something like the flu. You know, you come into contact with the wrong person and they give you a virus. Well, this time they can give you a little bit of depression. They can say something, they can mention something, they could be mean to you, and you suddenly feel it. And you feel it in your body, but you also feel it in your mind, as opposed to just the flu you could feel in your body. So we've all had it in some capacity, so we have the ability to be able to understand what that is. And so for me, I was like, okay, well, what is my relationship to mental illness? What have I experienced? And then I've talked to people that had it on a higher scale than me. Okay, what does anxiety look like for you? What happens at the worst of your worst days? And what happens on either side of that? Or when you have a panic attack, what's the moment before and what's the moment after? And the moment before is usually a large buildup of something happening. And then I was like, well, what happens right after? And they go, I just go back to my day. I've had a good cry, I've let it all out. I just go back to my day, that's it. So it's like, it's very simple. And I made sure that with Jenny, while she has a panic attack on the floor, then can answer her phone. I remember talking to one of the directors once and they're like, we need to make it a little bit shorter. Can we shorten the panic attack? And I was like, no. We can't. You can cut into it, but I can't diminish this experience and where it resides. Like you'll see in moments where Jenny starts to feel her trauma, because it's something for her that she can't say. Because she doesn't understand it. It's vocally, so the trauma will be in your throat. So you see, she has these little things that she does and she pops her ears, and as it starts to get worse, it's because the pressure in your head starts to feel more and more, and as the pressure happens you feel like you can't breathe. So you'll see her pop her ears and then her head will start to go up. So you'll see a lot of people that are suffering from anxiety or panic attacks, they can't breathe, so they start putting their hands up. It's all in here, so you'll start to see her kind of have these weird little things that I had to sit in front of a mirror and figure out based on the notes that I had gotten or YouTube videos. Some wonderful vlogger shared a panic attack that he had in the middle of one of his blogs. And he just said, this wasn't planned, I just had it, and I thought I would share it so you guys could understand what a panic attack looks like for me. So I studied off of his physicality, what that was. So yeah, that was, it is, and it's still very important to me. So each season I go into, I kind of study the next iteration of what that would look like for Jenny's body, mind, soul, all of it across the board.
How many of those are you taking?
They're as needed.
Jenny! 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 Are you sleepwalking?
What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me?